man, I'm from Kharkiv. And I answered him, I'm from Nikopol. So it was, we don't ask to fight for us, because we will fight.
Do the fighting.
Yeah, we are fighting. We are a nation of fighters, and we now we are their security and bodyguards.
And I think
Welcome to Ukraine Bank.
Joe and JB, here we are. We just arrived in Kyiv this morning as the attack was happening right next to the train station. These evil Iranian drones, but now it's a sunny day. We're still under an air alarm. We're here with my great friend Michael Poperechnyuk. Mike, I saw you just a few days ago in Kyiv. No, I'm sorry, in Lviv. We're moving all around the country. Mike's from Nikopol, the city that's been shelled every day and night since July. But you with your NGO, Solidarity and Evolution, which is Nikopol based, and you guys have been getting humanitarian aid to people who need food and clothes, and also getting supporting units of soldiers in territorial defense. It's one of the most effective NGOs I've seen, and Mike has a great pedigree. Was a European kickboxing champion, and so well known in the sportsman community here in Ukraine and throughout Europe. You've been in politics. You've stood up to corruption and ran for mayor of Nikopol, but maybe after victory that will be a possibility. And your city, by the way, means City of Victory. So what are you doing now in Kyiv?
Thank you, Joe. It's always a big pleasure to meet you. Thank you for amazing introduction, as usual. And also, I'm always happy to meet you in Lviv, in Kyiv, and of course in Nikopol, because you've been in Nikopol a few times. You understand our pain, how it's difficult for Nikopol citizens to survive, and what we saw in the last week in Lviv and feel it in Kyiv today. All Nikopol citizens feel it every day and every night.
You said, for example, today, when these very scary, evil Iranian drones the size of a car are flying over the city, there may be 28 of them today, but you're so used to hearing the shelling in Nikopol, you can kind of hear how far these are from you, and you're like, okay, I can roll over and go back to sleep.
It's probably, I don't recommend to do it to everyone, but really, after months of missiles, of course, a person might understand how far rocket or missiles from you or from your building. So that's why even it was also pretty interesting. Few days, I mean, in Monday in Lviv, I was sitting in Sweet Kave on the market square, and it started bombs, explosions, and all people started to run on the market square. And I was sitting, and the other guy near me also was sitting, and I was watching on him, and he was also watching on me, and he told, man, I'm from Kharkiv. And I answered him, I'm from Nikopol. So it was some kind of joke, yeah, because we...
But in solidarity, because you're in cities that have been shelled so continually.
But that's why we understood that explosions were far from us. So the same situation is here in Kyiv and in different cities, but in Nikopol it's so small, and where the Grad artillery started attack us, it covered from 500 meters till 1 kilometer. So that's why they damage so many houses.
So more than 1,000 buildings have been damaged.
Of course, yeah.
Now Nikopol is the really the heartland. I think I could say the heartland of the Cossacks.
Yes. It was capital of 5 Cossack sieges.
And Siege was the Cossack, sort of very democratic Cossack regime.
Yeah.
So there's this ancient tradition of democracy in Ukraine. There even was the Cossack Constitution of 1711, which was before 1789.
First constitution in the world.
Before French, before American, and
Constitution by Philip Orlik.
And one by what?
Philip Orlik.
Oh, Philip Orlik. Yeah. Philip Orlik. And so JB and I set out. You have a Frenchman and an American. We set out on this mission to travel Ukraine. With I would say two big goals. One, to show Ukrainian resilience, which includes Ukrainian culture. The people keep living. I mean, even we're under an alarm now. We're still outside of the cafe, and Ukrainian resilience, and also Ukrainian freedom. And I think that Ukrainian democracy is something that the world doesn't really see and understand. You say, especially from your homeland, that you're the freedom people. What is Ukrainian democracy? Why is I think this is why the war is happening, because Ukrainian people in 2014 said we will not be controlled by anyone else, not even by a government in Kyiv. You are independent. independent of government, dependent on your family, communities. What is Ukrainian freedom and democracy for you, Mike?
It's also about, first of all, now we can see bravery, because we will not be slavers of any regimes and any stupid restrictions. And that's why from 2004 till now we also show that freedom is not just only words, and we also understand and we estimate that freedom is not free. So that's why we always fight for freedom. And for Ukrainians it's really very important, because after more than 70 years of Soviet Union control, of course we were, you know, some kind of frames, and now we fell it from 1991, and of course we don't give any chances to any regimes, no Putins, no someone else.
You know, I think these drones that as our train arrived this morning, these drones that were causing such fear and damage, and they killed people, including a pregnant woman. They come from Iran. And Iran right now, the women of Iran, unlike the people of Russia, the women and girls in Iran are standing up to their regime, and in the same way that Ukrainians stood up in 2014 and previously. You think like, if these women, I mean, you see the power of the people. If these women can somehow, and it's very difficult, but if they can find a way to topple their regime, then we have one less horrible government that inflicts such damage upon the world.
Of course, because now we can see some kind of coalition who supports Russia. I mean, Belarusian regime, Lukashenko, Iranian government, North Korean, and some African country. And that's why we see, I think this is the same coalitions as we saw in the Second World War. So two sides, evil and the good. So that's why now Ukraine, such as a wall between horsemen of apocalypse and civilization. And that's why we ask from West, from Europe, from United States and all democratic countries, support us with have a military, with a financial, with humanitarian aid. We don't ask to fight for us, because we will fight.
Do the fighting.
Yeah, we are fighting. We are a nation of fighters, and we show it more than 8 years, because I want to say again, the war started in 2014, not now. And that's why it's so important to support us, because as long we will fight and stand in Ukraine, in our borders, as long Europe will have a peace, and all their life conditions. And all the services which we can see in Austria, Germany, Italy, France, and other countries. So that's why now we are their security and bodyguards.
And I think also this, not only that security, but Ukraine, I think, and some people are starting to realize this, is an example of how people can be more free. Because I think a lot of us have forgotten what freedom and democracy are in the West. We get too comfortable, and we're not happy with the way things are in our own countries. Ukraine shows you how to do that. And so, Mike, I know that as we travel the country, we're going to run into you in more places, and I want people to hear your voice. So we'll see where we run into Mike next on these travels. But Michael Poperechnyuk, and with Solidarity and Evolution, amazing NGO. Maria and your whole team are fantastic people. And Mike, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much for this great opportunity to share our pain, our experience, and we stand and defend, and we will do everything for our common victory. Glory to Ukraine.
Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava.
Thank you.